Welcome. This is our 9.1 video. To be honest, this is the first video I'm making for pre-calculus because the chapter 3 videos I swiped from my college algebra class. Maybe after at some point I might have changed one of them, but they basically were swiped. So, welcome. Nice to meet you all, although I've met you already, but haven't met you. Whatever. I don't know. I'm confused. Time travel shit always gets me confused. Okay, so let's start. We're going to talk about sequences and series in chapter 9. Okay, so let's start with the definition of a sequence. So the definition of a sequence, as taken from the textbook, is it's an infinite sequence an infinite sequence is a function whose domain is the positive integers. Okay, now that kind of way too much work or way too many words for what we really mean. And what we really mean is that we just take, a sub 1. Sometimes we even started at a sub 0. No, they don't start at a sub 0 here. A sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3. Okay, so this little subscript, like the 1 here, the 2 there, the 3 there, that takes the place of the x. That's sort of the input, okay? And the output is the a value, okay? We'll talk about what's called the general term. Is a sub n. And when we do that, what we're really saying is maybe there's some formula. Is there a formula for a sub n? That's sort of the question we'll be asking. Okay. And then they also talk about finite sequences. And when it's finite sequences, it's just like maybe not all of the positive integers. Moved farther and farther away from the definition in the book. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's start doing some problems. So let's look at number 16 in the book. So got my things here. So number 16 in the book says, we're going to ask for find the first 4 terms. Okay, that's actually for number 16 and number 28. So let me move this. So those directions work for both of these. So number 16, we get a sub n equals 3n over n squared plus 1. Okay, so right now, unless we're told differently, it looks like it's going to be a infinite sequence. Okay, that's no problem. We're just going to start taking the first few terms. So a sub 1, we just plug 1 in for n. So 3 times 1 over 1 squared plus 1, 3 halves. Okay. Looks like I'm going to need to play this game. Okay, let's look at a sub 2. A sub 2 is 3 times 2 over 2 squared plus 1. And that's going to be then 6 over 5. Okay. A sub 3. You hopefully are seeing the pattern. Any questions so far? Okay, well, if you have any questions, this is a recording, so make sure that you write them down and then you bring them to the live sessions that we'll have, okay? And A sub 4, we're just going to plug 4 in for him. Oh, 12 over 16, I think I can reduce that. So if I don't reduce it, oh no, I still have to reduce it. I have to reduce it all the way down to 3/4. Otherwise, I'm going to get it wrong. Okay, let me... GoodNotes has changed my life, guys. I love it. Okay, let's look at number 28. Okay, so number 28, we have A sub n equals 2 to the n over e to the n. Okay, so A sub 1 is going to be 2 over e. A sub 2 is going to be 2 squared over e squared. So I'm going to write that as 4 over e squared. A sub 3, I'm going to go ahead and skip the first step. It's just 8 over e cubed, because remember, 8 is 2 to the third. Okay. And a sub 4 is going to be 16 over e to the fourth now. Okay. So I can actually make that one a little bit bigger too. Okay. All right. Let's go on. 32 and 36. So 32, okay. Now 32 and 36, these are examples where we're going to actually have to find the general term based on the sequence. Okay, so we're actually given the terms of the sequence. We're given the terms of the sequence. We want to find the formula. So we are given the first few terms. Find the general formula. Okay. Move that over a little bit. Okay, so 32, I'm sorry, yeah, 32, we're given 2/3, 3/4, 4/5, 5/6. So now you may or may not be able to find the next term. If you did, congratulations. It would be 6 over 7. Next one would be 7 over 8. Now, there's a dirty little secret to these things that no one ever really says, but I'll say it. Honestly, you could make a case for, you could put any number there and there is a case to be made for it. Okay, I could put like -100 and I'd be like, well, no, this is what I was thinking. We're not trying to be like tricky or clever there, okay? Just go with like the most natural thing, all right? Yes, there is a theory that, you know, if you have like any n numbers, the next n plus 1 number could be anything you want based on, you could always find a formula that would give it to you. Don't try to be too clever. Just go with the basic version, okay? So now, what is the term? Well, we think of this as being a sub 1. This is a sub 2. This is a sub 3. Okay, so I'm going by what we started. The definition said we always start with a sub 1. Some people start with a sub 0, but we're doing a sub 1. So if this is the term, if that's how the terms go, then a sub n is always going to be n plus 1 divided by n plus 2. Okay, so this is the form of the solution, or that's the general form of the formula for the sequence. Okay, next problem, number 36, we're going to do the same thing. So we get our first few terms are negative 1/2, 1/4, negative 1/8, 1/16. Okay, and that would keep going. Again, if you knew the next one, congratulations. The next one be, of course, negative 1/32. Okay. Excuse me. Look. I hope everyone was at least 6 feet away from their monitor, or at least 6 feet away from my monitor. All right. So what is the general form? Well, we've got this, if you think about it, this is 1/2 to the first power, but there's this negative sign. Let's not worry about the negative sign just yet, okay? So let's just pretend for now that we had 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 1/16. Okay, so if we just had that, then I think you could all say, okay, 1/2 to the n, right? What about the negative sign? Well, whenever there's a negative sign flipping, okay, so it's negative, then positive, then negative, then positive, then negative, that means you're going to have like a negative 1 to a power. Okay, now, here's the thing. Let's put in n. So if I put in negative 1 to the n, then I'm going to look at the first couple of ones. Okay, let me back to original. So we're back at the original. Okay, so now, if I have negative 1 to the n here, what's going to be the first one? Well, negative 1 to the 1 is negative, so this would be negative 1/2, right? Oh, that's not going to work. So I'm going to put in a plus 1. I think that's what they do. They might put in a -1. Let me just see. I think they put in a plus 1. Okay, now it doesn't really matter because it would be the same thing. So if I put 1/2 to the negative 1 to the n minus 1, that's also the same thing. Also, no, that's not going to work. Well, we could put also negative 1/2 to the n. But that's really crazy, right? But that'll work as well. Okay, you could think of that one as working, but that's not really, that one I'm not going to really expect. I think these two are what the kind of answers that we're looking for. Okay, all right. I'll see you all in a new video soon. Ah.